Today's video, we're going to talk about why PPC affects SEO massively now with Google's most recent update, okay? So a lot of people like to argue with me about this topic. Anybody who's truly in the know though, and is really a skilled marketer, understands that SEO in and itself, by itself, isn't a very effective business plan to just rely on that for all the customers you have coming into your business or clients on an ongoing basis, because it's SEO or organic traffic that you get is very volatile. It gets messed up all the time by Google reshuffling the deck, and you don't want to rely on it. Not only that, but just expecting organic traffic to arrive out of nowhere when you don't promote your business any other way is just silly. It's 100 times harder to do it that way. Just trying to backlink your website or whatever tricks you're gonna pull to get ranked and not send any paid traffic to your website at all. Not unless you have a brand new product that's way better than anything else out there. But even then, it's very, very, very hard to get SEO to consistently scale upwards when you're not running any kind of paid ad traffic at your site. I rarely see that. But I'm going to talk to you about why with the recent algorithm update, why the paid traffic is going to affect your SEO results so much, what you can actually do about it, and I got a couple case studies for you at the end of the video if you stay to the end of the video on why having the paid traffic is going to make such a big impact on your overall SEO results, and why SEO results nowadays, whereas it was for a long time reliant on you being a brand name, it's majorly affected you if you're not a brand trying to get any kind of organic rankings for your website, which you can easily become a brand just by understanding how to make paid traffic work for your site. And that's what I'm going to talk about in detail here. With that said, before I get into the content though, if you don't know who I am yet, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients management fees until we get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability up front, generally speaking in excess of the management fees that we charge. That right there should tell you something about the quality of the information that you're about ready to receive on today's video. My 10 years plus of advertising experience and 20 years of marketing experience, online marketing experience, Google's made a lot of algorithm updates throughout the years. They've done it a lot of times because, let's face it, Google wants to sell ads. If it were easy to rank organically, consistently, and you got rankings and it never fluctuated and whatever, you would just be less likely to buy ads, so to say. Google, with this most recent algo update, they've screwed everybody again, particularly small affiliate type websites, of which those sites all have one thing in common, mostly anyway, is that they aren't an actual freaking brand. They are freeloaders. And if you don't like me for saying it, I mean, ultimately, you're expecting Google to give you this consistent traffic, but what are you giving them? Nothing. Big old goose egg. And for that matter, they don't really care about you at all. Naturally, they want the organic search results to be okay, so people still use Google to some regard anyway. They more so want the ads to be good and people to click on ads, not organic search results. But unless you're doing something that nobody else can really do in your market, you're an interchangeable cog that they can screw over at will and screw with your organic traffic and take away your freeloading ways of getting traffic to your site without having to buy ads to them. And then with that, on top of everything else, by the way, rely on organic traffic for your business. I've been around long enough to know that it's not a matter of if you're going to go out of business, it's just when. Because the algorithm update sometime is going to screw with your organic traffic. You're going to build your business infrastructure up to where you have to rely on a major amount of income coming in to pay for your overhead, your staff, all that. The organic traffic is going to dip. It's going to dip enough that you can't cover all your overhead, and boom, you're out of business because you won't be able to have enough time to pivot it into something else, a second traffic source, which you need to be getting into now, not before it happens. The guys that go out of business that I've seen multiple times over the years do this, because I've worked with hundreds of companies, they get fat and happy off of the one traffic source, particularly organic, because people like that because it has high margins. They don't want to spend to get customers. This traffic goes down and boom, they're out of business. With that said, but it doesn't have to be that way. People are prejudiced against spending to get customers a lot of times, but I don't understand why, because it's all just a matter of numbers. Will the sales you're getting from the ads pay for the cost of the ads? If so, there shouldn't have any problem spending it. The smart people I deal with that go on to make millions of dollars a year in their business and survive over the long term understand this inside and out. Whereas people that consistently struggle say, here's my marketing budget, I can't spend more than this, blah, 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 blah. And they end up just staying small. That's the major differentiator at our firm of who goes on to make millions and millions and millions and the ones that don't, out of anything else I can think of. So how does Google tell if you're a brand? Ultimately, given that Google's trying to filter out even more than what they used to, that they were already doing in the past, how do they filter you out if you're not a brand? Which, by the way, they want to get rid of people that are non-brands, because if Google's going to send the traffic to anybody, not only do they not want to send it to freeloaders that don't advertise, they don't want to send the traffic to people who potentially may rip off their customer. A non-brand's more likely to rip off the users they send to you than a brand. So the safest thing would be to only send all the traffic to known brands, so that the likelihood that the people they're referring to rip off their customers is as little as possible, because if they get ripped off from a Google recommendation, they're not going to come back to Google next time, or not be as likely to. They're going to, even though they don't blame Google directly, they're going to indirectly blame them, and it's going to change their pattern of behavior. It does make sense for them to promote the brand, at least at surface level, because when they go too heavy with brand, then ultimately the search results suffer, because all you get is just big brand stuff, and big brands usually don't have the best stuff, naturally. So it's higher risk, but the offers aren't as good. What they do now, or what this major algorithm update that I've seen hit a whole ton of people out there, not so much our clients, but other companies. The main thing is, in order to be seen as a brand, you could have a lot of traffic to your website and they can kind of tell if you're a brand that way. But nowadays it's that plus, after the update, and it always kind of was, but especially now, that plus brand searches. If you're not regularly getting brand searches on Google and repeat visits to your site to go along with it, but primarily brand searches, they're not going to say you're a brand, okay? Because they can't see all the traffic that goes back to your site every single time, so they're not going to rely on traffic. If you've got Google Analytics on your site, they can see return traffic, but what they're really looking for is that, and a whole lot of people go into Google, type it in your brand name, go into your website, because that indicates you have a very strong brand, so that they can feel confident sending traffic to you. These affiliate websites, what they would do to try to make money, instead of having a real business, so to say, you can crucify me if you want. Ultimately, what they're going to do is try to have a website like a blog, and they're going to write an article to rank for the keyword, the 5 best tennis rackets in 2024. So that they would rank for that keyword. The whole article's about it. That article has very mediocre content at best on it, with 4 or 5 affiliate links pointing to Amazon, with the goal being that people are at least 10% of the time going to click through those links. And then of those people, they're going to at least 2-3%, 4% of the time buy something. They're going to get their 4% commission from Amazon. And now they can take that money to parlay it into more content, which they can make even more money, and so on and so forth. Google's understood that these websites basically shouldn't be trusted. Why should they trust your recommendations? Which in fact, most of them, they aren't dumb. They know the people making these websites are not testing these products out or services out. And they're making, they're paying content writers in another country bare bones amount of money, or even using AI potentially, to generate this crap content to just trick people to click through links and get an affiliate commission. Affiliate marketing nowadays, if you're not building an audience, is pretty much just being a scam, because you got to do shady stuff to get traffic to an affiliate offer to make money. The traffic has to be basically free or near free, otherwise you can't make money with the small commissions you're getting. In replacement of the blog that was all it was meant to do was get a Google click and then turn it into an affiliate commission, instead of Google ranking that, they're ranking the large website that has content. Maybe it's not on the direct topic of best tennis rackets in 2024. It's about good tennis rackets to buy, but it's from a bigger brand that people naturally go to that site for more than, they actually just go to the site in general. They aren't, these sites, these guys run these sites, and the only traffic they get is from Google search. And the Google search traffic never comes back to their site again. And with that, there's no reason to come back to the site again. Therefore, nobody's typing in the brand name of their website or the name of their website into Google search. Google knows this is just like a feeder website, if you will, and to not rank it anymore. These businesses doing this particular business model of crap content, rank, go on, make another page of the site, rank, it's basically over. Unless you can figure out how to drive repeat traffic to your site, you're not going to really get anywhere anymore. These auto-generated, crap-generated websites, it's not a way to make money with and do affiliate marketing anymore. You're gonna have to find other ways to get traffic to your website to do your affiliate marketing if you still want to be in affiliate marketing, which for the most part, I don't even know anybody who makes money off of affiliate marketing not doing sketchy stuff anymore. That said, okay, traffic is not alone gonna get Google to trust you and think you're a brand. A site with 100,000 visits a month, if people aren't going in to type in the brand name into Google indicating this is an actual branded site that people are going to on a regular basis for more than they just magically found this page via a search result and they're going to click through because it's convenient. The other thing that's changed a lot recently is you got to have good usability metrics. So if you rank on the first page, if people aren't getting a good experience and they're clicking back to Google, that indicates to Google to not rank your web page anymore. So you need that. You need traffic to your site, ideally return traffic, and you need the brand searches as it appears in today's world to rank, which makes sense. They want real businesses with real customers and everything else be the ones that are going to have them show their content, because you're less likely to put content out where you're lying, because that would affect your brand, right? You have actually something to lose by misrepresenting yourself. So with that said, okay, if you want to know how to move forward and this has happened to you, or you're afraid that you're going to go out of business because you're just relying on Google organic traffic like I was mentioning before, and you want to get paid ads working, this is the best channel you're going to possibly find, I promise you, on the topic of making millions of dollars a year running ads for your business. And so if you want to start learning from the best, subscribe to this channel and start paying attention to the content on this channel, because I spend personally 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm on dozens of ad accounts. Everything that works and doesn't work, I share for free on this channel. And so the information is useful. Most of the junk content you find on YouTube about how to make money with ads is given to you by people who are trying to sell courses or make money on ad revenue, and it's useless or practically useless. Therefore, if you're going to start anywhere, you want to start here. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You also want to check out my blog. My blog's even better. Most people think it's better than the channel even. The blog actually has the same strategies on there that I use to guarantee results for our clients, but with screenshots, with more visuals and so forth. So if you want that and you like that, you like things to be listed in a little bit more in detail, I've got it all there. You should check that out as well. You can, of course, by the way, always leave me a comment below and ask any questions you want in the comment section. I do get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. With that said, okay, in terms of the case studies I mentioned, that I said I was going to mention in reference to brand, how much brand matters nowadays. We had worked for Kyocera recently, and for Kyocera, I mentioned this on a video not too long ago. Usually I don't work with huge companies because you get into playing politics. I don't care for it. I want to deal directly with the owner or a manager who they really got to make the things work. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to run their business. Big companies, they don't care about results. I mean, as weird as it sounds, everything is, you're playing games with them. I don't like that. We only work, our sweet spot's working with companies between like 500,000 a year and 25 million a year. We do work with bigger companies sometimes, but that's more so our thing. To get a company from 1 million to 10 million is pretty much our bread and butter for a number of reasons. Mainly because their clients are serious. We had Kyocera as a client, and they had and it's a division of their business itself who did digital document translation and some other stuff like that. I created landing pages for their Google search campaigns in order to get better results for them. And the way that I do things, if you don't know already, because you don't watch this channel yet, what we'll do is we'll create unique landing pages for different services, different locations. So if you're targeting people across the country for that particular service, digital document translation, where they basically take physical documents and digitize them, basically is what I'm saying. And you create, so if somebody's in Illinois, you get a landing page that doesn't say digital document translation services, landing page that says digital document translation in Illinois, so that they know that not only do you do it, but you cover their area. Those are both things people want to know right away when they hit the landing page. We would make these landing pages and we put them up on the site on not a subdomain, but on a sub page of the website, which would allow us to inherit the domain authority and brand authority of that particular site. And those pages, boom, right away would rank, to the point where the organic leads that we were getting were more than the paid leads that we were getting driving traffic to these landing pages, just by having these laser targeted landing pages for the different subservices that were designed well, converted well in terms of usability, and that we were the only person with a page like that for that service in Illinois and in Texas. We ranked at the top of the search results just by getting the pages indexed. I do admit, though, what we usually do to get the most out of what we're doing in that scenario, we didn't in this case, is we take all the pages we made for the PPC landing pages, we put them in a sitemap to Google Search Console, let Google then discover them, and then they're going to rank those pages. Anytime you have a brand that's fairly big, that's worth doing 100% of the time because you're going to get a bunch of free organic traffic. A lot of people will say, oh, that's risky because it's doorway pages or whatever. It is, if you will, but you can easily rectify that by putting in a canonical tag on your landing pages. It's silly because ultimately users want to know you're in Illinois when they get to the page. So are you telling me that Illinois shouldn't be on the page, even though they want it on there? The canonical tag is the right answer. On top of that, you can also make the page unique easily. You could put content on the page, on the lower part of the page that talks about Illinois or whatever, make the page unique. And then Google's not going to see it as a doorway page because you've legitimately made the page unique. The reason why I bring that up is to show you how much brand means in 2024, because this was just recently where we did this. If you have a big enough brand, just having a page existing, you'll rank nowadays. Whereas you could have a brand new site, same pages, once Google looks at those pages, you aren't going to rank. So really, more than anything, you should be thinking of, in terms of your ranking and your niche, how do I get brand authority? Because I don't need to do anything else once Google sees I'm a brand. Yes, easier said than done, but this is where paid advertising comes in. And being a student of somebody who actually knows how to run paid ads and get results on a regular basis, you watch this channel and you put these practices that we use to guarantee results in action for yourself. And you start with a small spend. You have a goal in place to get to a certain ROI. You hit it. Then you start spending a little bit more and a little bit more, and you build things up that way. Then the organic traffic is just going to come as a result, as a byproduct. It's better to try to spend that money to get ads to work than try to do all these tricks to rank organically, because at the end of the day, you're still fighting the brand issue that Google now heavily focuses on brands. And you're a sitting duck when you're not a brand. And I'm sure Google's just going to continue to want brands more and more to be the one that actually ranks in their search results. So instead of delaying the inevitable and the inevitable that's going to hit you, yeah, sure, if you want to invest in some SEO, that's fine, but try to get the paid ads to work first, then do your SEO once your paid ads are already on the way up, is what I would recommend. That's what I recommend to all our clients at our firm as well. Not starting with investing in SEO by itself, because it takes so long to rank organically when you don't have any kind of brand authority. So that's one story I wanted to tell you about. The other is we had a personal finance blog, and this is more so an anecdote about what you want to do if you were an authority site that got hit like that. Instead of having that site where people, basically your whole business model is to get Google traffic to your site and then get people to click to a site through your affiliate link, and that's the business model and that's it. Instead of doing that, try to put together an actual site that people would want to visit again, because it's not so niched down. Instead of selling and making content about the 5 best tennis rackets in 2024 or the 5 best credit cards in 2024, put together a personal finance site like we had a client did that, and have regular content that's released on that blog about personal finance, not so niched down, so people that are interested in personal finance would be able to go to that site. And as long as they like the content there, they would come back about stocks. It could be about healthy living, whatever. And then what you do, you can rely on the organic traffic you're going to get at the beginning, a little trickle, enough to where you can start getting sponsors. Once you start getting sponsors, you would right away are going to devote about 20% of your sponsor money back into ad spend. And then that's going to take it to the stratosphere, so to say, which you don't need to have that much traffic to get paid sponsors. Ultimately, you could go to them and offer them free paid articles, which link back to their site, and they'll pay you thousands of dollars for that, even if your site doesn't have more than, let's say, 1,000 visits a site to your month. I've seen this. This creates a perpetual feedback loop where ad traffic brings more visitors to your site, which brings more sponsors, which allows you to spend more on more ad traffic, and then the organic traffic is just going to blow up your business once all that's going. And that's the proper way to go about doing things. Now, if that were you, what you could do, like we did in this particular client's instance, is you could set up in Google Analytics actual goal that triggers when somebody visits your site more than once, okay? Because that's what you're looking for with this. Instead of doing things the old way, where you're just trying to get somebody to go to your website once, click through an affiliate link, and that's it, and that's all you care about, you're actively trying to run traffic to the site that you know will come back to the site to actually be a reoccurring reader on the site. And so you set up that goal, you feed that goal into your Google Ads account, you run display ads to people that are on other personal finance blogs that run Google AdSense on there. And then with that goal and the machine learning that Google has, it's going to create a perpetual feedback loop of getting you, for the budget you have and whatever you're spending at the time, a higher and higher percentage of users who's likely to actually stay on your website and come back. And you can use the paid ads then as a result of that with that particular setup to get brand going. And then when the brand is there, then your organic's going to come, not before. And you're not going to be a sitting duck waiting to get hit, because you could set up a website still like that where people are coming to your site from Google Organic and click through your affiliate links as your primary business model. At the end of the day, if you will, Google is going to try to, I can tell you for a fact, weed all that crap out eventually over time, particularly as the internet matures and there's more and more people that are willing to put out high quality blogs and stuff like that in a certain niche market, that they don't have to really rely on you who've created a laser targeted article for this exact keyword. They don't need to necessarily do that because those websites have content that's pretty much similar that serves those needs already. And with that said, ultimately what's going on as well is these blogs are putting together their own affiliate programs, but they're doing it on the side. They have a blog that people read, but then they put together individual articles like that to get to where they'll rank on Google, but they're only ranking on Google because they have that blog there and they're already a brand. For the most part, you can get traffic to your site, your crappy blog, if you will, that has crappy, mediocre content on it nowadays, but eventually Google's going to want to weed you out. And so why even waste your time building up a business like that if you don't have to? And with that said, if you want to know how to put together a paid ad campaign that can get reoccurring loyal visitors to your website, like we talked about, like finance blog that we worked with a while back, reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com and I'll have a conversation with you about it. Estimates as to what results that will get you, like what is the cost per reoccurring visitor that comes to your site, so forth. And then with that, you'll know what you can basically get. We also, by the way, have been selling ad templates. I've started offering about 12 months ago ad templates that work for different niche markets. If we've worked in your niche market before, instead of trying to do everything we had to do to find the great results in that niche market in a different city or country that you're in for that product or service you're selling, you could just take the winning ad, landing page, campaign template, all of it that works for your niche market, copy paste it into your own ad account and get the same results we're getting or have gotten in the past with none of the time and effort we had to spend to get to those results and money. With that said, we can also tell you the results you're going to get with that using that template up front. So you would know exactly what you stand to gain. If you're trying to get results, but you don't want to hire an ad agency like ours to manage your stuff fully, you can use the template, and that's one of the best starting places you can start with. The best, practically speaking. With that said, we've worked in over 100 different niche markets, so the chances are quite high we've already got the results you're looking for. So at least you should reach out to us and find out what results we got in your market, and then see if it would be worth it for you to do that. People are using these templates, by the way, to just start whole other businesses on the side. If you want to get into selling leads, use a template we use that generates leads at a super low cost in a niche market like in the personal injury space and flip those leads. Or you can get into subcontracting work. You could, like we had a client that started a tree service business and all they do all day is answer the phone, they sub out the work. Or you could sell product. We got campaigns a whole list of e-commerce campaigns and products you could sell using the e-commerce templates we have and sell the product in a country our client's not in and nor never will be in, and have a turnkey campaign and result as a result of that. So anyway, if you're interested in any of those other opportunities, let me know. You can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com for that. But with that said, that goes over the kind of case studies and stories I wanted to tell you about as it comes to how brand is affecting SEO and what you should ultimately be doing and thinking about moving forward in your business. Your best SEO strategy in summary is a great paid strategy because that's going to build up your brand. And once you're a brand, the SEO results just come, so to say. Even though I do admit adding backlinks and stuff like that can enhance it, it's like trying to say you're going to take steroids to build muscle and you're not going to work out. I mean, it would work a hell of a lot better if you worked out while you were taking those steroids. Even though steroids would help you increase muscle, it's just not nearly as much as if you worked out with it. Paid traffic that scales while you're trying to do SEO efforts make the SEO efforts 10 times as effective or 100 times as effective at the end of the day. Last thing I wanted to mention is if you are stuck where you're at right now in terms of your revenue, if you reach out to me, you can do a 30-minute coach session with me where I look at all your stuff, your website, your sales process, look at your pricing, all that. And I can tell you pretty much where your bottleneck is. And I can say that confidently because I've worked with hundreds of companies in the last 10 plus years doing this exact thing. Companies tell me what's working and not working in their business, and we got to find out where the issue is that's stopping ads from working, if it is another issue. And that the people that have reached out to me since I started offering coaching at our firm with other agencies and businesses that are not agencies, every single person who's gotten it has come back for more coaching since. It's because it's so useful and because I'm able to be so effective. Want to get unstuck? Reach out to me on my site at guaranteedppc.com and I'll discuss with you lining that call up, and it could be a huge time saver to get you where you want to go, because a lot of times it's not the ads that's the problem, it's your website, your sales process, there's some other issue going on. Or if it is the ads, I'll tell you the ads that'll work the best for you in your situation and where you're at right now. So with that said though, I'm going to wrap everything up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Remember when I said organic traffic was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.